I'm the coach. You're locked into the NFL on EA Sports. Coming up, we've got a good one between the Buffalo Bills and the Miami Dolphins. With that, let's get down to Hard Rock Stadium in Miami. Standing by for the call, here are Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Thank you, Coach. From beautiful South Florida, there's a look at Hard Rock Stadium in Miami. Nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it. This crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the Buffalo Bills and the Miami Dolphins. With Charles Davis, as always, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And Charles, you talk about storylines in this one. I think it begins and ends with our two quarterbacks, certainly two of the best in the business.
And nowadays, I don't think you can get by for long periods of time without a top-flight quarterback. The way the game is played, with all the responsibility he has and how the game flows through him, if he's not on the top of his game, your team's not going to benefit at all.
The NFL season has hit high gear, and off we go in Week 11 on EA Sports. Fielded about a yard deep. And good starting field position. He'll get this one all the way up to about the 35-yard line. So here come the Bills on offense for the first time. They'll be led out by the first Wyoming quarterback to go in the first round, standing 6'5". It's Josh Allen.
And I thought in last week's game, he found a way to win, like a good pitcher, without his best stuff. I mean, he did throw 2 interceptions, offset by 1 touchdown pass. Not the ratio, not the numbers you're really looking for as a QB. But finding a way to win, that's all that really matters.
Looks like he's going to get a couple here on this first down carry, and that'll make it 2nd and 8. Give him a couple on the carry there, 2nd and 8. The starters now on offense. And Stephon Diggs, our first chance to see him today.
Brandon, remember we had this conversation about how highly recruited he was in high school. Didn't quite live up to it in college due to some injuries. But boy, has he hit the NFL like a bomb. Stephon Diggs, a crafty, mature route runner who can go the distance.
And the hole closes quickly there. He gets maybe a couple up to the 38. Look at the starters defensively for the Dolphins. They were excellent a week ago in the win over Pittsburgh.
Yeah, they gave up 17 points, but that's about what you consider the break-even mark. If you give up 17 points a game all year long, you're thinking you're going to be a playoff team. That's what you're looking for. Room to improve, of course. A pretty nice effort.
Throwing there, but this pass is going to wind up incomplete. So the defense able to get off the field here on 3rd down.
And it's one of the goals of the game. They've got to be effective on passing downs. It's one of the few things defenses chart. How did we do on 3rd down? That's a nice start for them in this one.
And this is going to carry well into the end zone for a touchback. So now here are the Dolphins getting set for their first drive. And here's a look at their leader, standing 6'4".
And I liked what his head coach told us about him this week, that no matter what happens, whether he throws 7 interceptions or 7 touchdown passes, he's the same assertive leader in the huddle on each and every play. He can throw the 7 interceptions, just blame the football, blame anything else, and still carry himself like he is the man.
It's like you, assertive in our production meetings.
Well, especially when we're talking about ordering dinner, ordering some
I was just going to say.
That's where I go.
Now a toss left side into the hands of his tight end. That catch good for 5. It's 3rd down. On the defensive side, this is the starting lineup for the Bills. There are 32 teams in the NFL, and they're just better than 50% of them at defending the pass, number 16 in the league.
I think if you talk to their head coach, you'll get a nice answer about how much he likes his team and what they're doing. But at the end of it, he would admit there's definitely room to improve.
And he gets it to the 32, good enough for a first down. It's a pickup of 6 and good enough to move the chains.
Defensively here, you're facing a top 5 team in terms of points scored in the NFL, so when they're that high-powered, you've got to find a way to hold them under 20, because to me, that's the magic number. 20 points scored, you give yourself your best chance to win.
So if they're up around 24, 28, 30, they could be in some trouble.
I think so, because then you turn it into a shootout, and that means your offense has to keep pace.
And now a throw on first down there, but it's incomplete. Devontae Parker was the intended receiver. And now it's 2nd down.
But when you're going up against a talented receiver like that, you just know that they're going to bring more people to him, right? They're going to double cover him every chance they get.
I think that is what we're going to see all game long. An early taste of that double, maybe even sometimes triple coverage we might see.
Yeah, I think what they're counting on, his talent to sometimes beat that double coverage.
19 yards to pick up there. Move the chains. And he's top 5 in the league in terms of receiving yardage because of plays like that. What have you seen from him on film that you like so much?
Well, I'll strip away everything else and get to what we call the moment of truth. When the ball's arriving and there's a defender there, he just comes down with the ball. He competes and takes it away. Great hands, great ability to finish the catch.
Throwing on first down, but this one winds up to be incomplete. So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10. Now a give, right side. It's Nash, and they'll get this just to the 47, 1-yard gain.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half, maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
That's the number 2 receiver in the NFL in terms of yardage, and tell you what, a few more plays like that, he won't be number 2 for long.
Well, that's what often happens when you have competitors running around the field. These guys know where they stand in relationship to yardage, totals, numbers, the whole deal. And let's face it, all of them, they all want to be number 1.
He'll be dropped at the 25 after a gain of 6.
All right, Brand, I know we're in the early going here, but those kind of runs, they're going to open up a world of opportunities for this offense going forward.
2nd and 4. And he's got it. Got his man on the end route. Complete. And down inside the 15, shy of the 10. The numbers for him from a week ago. 8 catches, 137 yards, and a score.
Look, I know everybody wants to be number 1 in everything they do, but he's number 2 in the league in receiving yards. That's a strong number, a strong year, and they want that to continue.
Throwing on first down. Alonso. And that is caught. Touchdown, Miami. An 11-yard touchdown. As his guys are able to strike first here in this opening quarter. An ideal start for them, really. You force the punt, and then you go down and score.
And you've got to see a fist pump on the sideline from the head coach, don't you? Because he's turned into his bench, and he's telling his team, this is how we prepare. Force the punt, go downfield and score. I told you guys, it's just like a boxer in the gym preparing for the fight. Now we get to turn it all loose.
Fielded about a yard deep. And he'll take this one near the 25, call it the 26-yard line. Here's the Buffalo offense now as they get set to take over here. And to be frank, they're just in a tough spot. It's only November, already eliminated from playoff contention. I know their fan base doesn't want to hear that, but that's the case. What are they fighting for now going forward?
You know exactly what they're fighting for. Is that word that some people don't want to hear, but it's pride.
Draft. Oh, okay. I was going to go draft, but pride's better, right?
You know something? You're right, because that's part of it, but that's 2 different mindsets. That's front office mindset, draft position, where are we going to be and what do we need to get? And then the players and the coaching staff right now, pride. Can they win some games and feel better about themselves despite the fact they have no shot at the playoffs?
Plays like we just saw there, that's why they're up right now. And the defense, they're doing their job.
Yeah, it starts with the guys up front. So when you talk with GMs who are putting together a team, a lot of them say we're going to build from the inside out because if you control the line of scrimmage, you control the rest of the ball game, and that's what we're seeing here. They're actually playing in the offense's backfield, not necessarily just playing with the line of scrimmage.
And they're going to get him down well short of the first as he can only get this to the 30. The completion good for only 6, and that'll bring up 4th.
Well, we hear so often how tackling has become almost a lost art in the NFL game, but it's so important to tackle well on these receivers, especially in a play like this one. 3rd down, they gave him the underneath stuff. You got to go and make the tackle right away.
They'll call that a 61-yard punt. He got all of that one, and it'll be Dolphin football. Out comes the Miami offensive unit now. They get set to take over. And it's only November, but the playoffs, we know how it works. They'll be here before you know it. If it ended today, they would be the number 1 seed.
And that's a great spot to be in. But I love the phrase, if it ended today. And I'll guarantee you, That's what they've discussed in their locker room, in their meeting rooms. Yeah, we know where we'd be if it ended today, but we also know it's not ending today.
Right.
So they got to continue to play the type of ball that put them in the spot where they're number one in their conference.
Now a give, right side. Nash, and they'll take him down at the 31-yard line. 6 yards to pick up, and that's a first down. And this should be the final play before the quarter ends. Second quarter from Miami. It's the Dolphins with the football as they've got it with a 1st and 10. Second quarter from Miami. It's the Dolphins with the football as they've got it with a 1st and 10. Back to throw. Alonso. He's got a man. That's caught. Left sideline. And he will take it in for a Dolphins touchdown. A big play there with touchdown number 12 on the year. And the Dolphins are able to extend that advantage.
I think if you hold defensive backs, they would say the corner route, take that out, make it illegal, because that is so hard to recognize and so hard to adjust, because your first move is to not get beat in the middle of the field, and that's how they move you first before they break off to the corner.
But then as a wide receiver, great job. It's tough to turn those upfield and go, but he did a great job with it there.
Really good balance, really good body control, and how about the end result? A touchdown.
Here's the Buffalo offense now as they get set to take over here. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early, probably not very deep into their script. I think that they'll stay with it. I don't think they'll abandon it just yet and try and generate some offense on this drive.
Anything. At least 3 points. Get that 0 off the board. Throwing is Allen on 3rd. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
Someone's been up to the task so far in this game. They are already up a couple of scores, Brandon, and guess what? I think they're just going to pin their ears back now and get upfield and get after the quarterback.
Been such an impressive first half to get that lead. Good blocking there, nearly sprung him. As it is, it'll go as a 19-yard return. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive. It's been a good first half so far. They're up 14-0. Points here that could really put them in command before intermission.
Yeah, and it's all well and good what they're seeing and how they're feeling right now. But this is the NFL. How many times have we watched 14-0 leads evaporate and quickly? So how have we seen them combat it? Continue to run your offense, but don't back off at all. Don't start looking at the clock. Don't start thinking about, hey, just take care of the football. Keep attacking. Usually the best way to maintain control.
And he'll get it down to the 47 here. 7 yards there and a 1st down.
At this stage of the game, the run-pass numbers are a little bit out of whack because most of their yardage has come through the air. But in a sense, that just sets things up for big runs like that because the defense might be a little bit off balance. They pick up another 1st down with that run.
Into double coverage, and it's intercepted. Picked off at the 38. And they have possession, and they have it at the 38-yard line.
That was a really nice interception. I think it illustrates the differences between playing man and playing zone. When you're in man, all you're focused on is the receiver in front of you. But when you're in zone, you're allowed to read the quarterback's eyes and go to the ball. That's exactly what happened on that play.
Yeah, here come the Bills. And they're in a bind early here, down 14-0. Are you worried at this stage or still too early?
You're worried. You're just trying not to transmit it to the rest of your team. You want to make sure that they stay positive. But at the same time, you're wondering, how are we going to move the football? What do we have on this play sheet that can work? Get back to basics is usually your answer. And make sure you find the guy who can move the ball fastest for you if you just get it in his hands.
Yeah, still second quarter. You get points on the board here. I think you're feeling okay. So now they have to contend with 2nd and 13 after the 1st down run goes backwards. The throw over the middle taken in. And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. That one a gain of 20 and a 1st down. On first down, Allen. Catch is made by Arcega-Whiteside. And this winds up a gain of 4 to the 41. That throw good for 4. It's second down.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going. But we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading a play and flowing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
And he's able to find Diggs. And he's got another first down as he's brought down at the Dolphins' 27-yard line.
Nice catch right there. Brings to mind the sentence, when in doubt, find your veterans.
I used to laugh back in the day when they would call guys like him crafty veterans. You get up in your 30s, you're still playing receiver, but you're around that long at that position, you're doing something. And he's going to be taken down. Pressure gets there back at the 39-yard line. And keep your eye on that man. 4 sacks last week, 1 there here in the second quarter. He can be so disruptive.
So what was he doing in the first quarter? What was going on?
Took a nap.
I think he tried to lull him to sleep a little bit. Like, yeah, okay, maybe you got me this week. No longer. And you know, with the 4 sacks last week, it's obvious he gets his in flurries.
That huge loss on the sack makes this job much more difficult. It's now second down and 22 yards to go. Allen's throw is complete. They'll wind up getting 10 back as that sets them up for third down. 7th play of this drive coming up, but a long way to go on third down. Now Allen, it's complete to Diggs. They'll get 11, but still a little short. 4th down. If you're going to blitz, likely going to leave you in man coverage with this guy, and that is less than ideal.
It is, because just about any offense that has an elite receiver, if you blitz and have him in man coverage, you're going to him, even if he has an elite defender on him, because he usually knows where the ball is before the defender does.
So they do get the 3 points before they hit halftime, something to build on maybe.
Yeah, go ahead and raise the banner, right? Wave the flag. That's good. Got points, and now, as you said, they got something to build on as they get ready for the second half.
This is taken at the 3. And he will be marked down right there at the 20-yard line. Now we get a peek at the captain of this offense heading back out there. And he's looked pretty good. Does have the 1 interception, but 2 touchdown passes so far. Your analysis.
Don't take the offset. When you talk about throwing 2 touchdown passes, no one wants to see an interception thrown, but those things happen in the course of a ball game and over the course of the season. But throwing 2 touchdown passes, that's why the team has an advantage. That's what they're looking for more of.
They'll be hoping to make it a 3-to-1 ratio here in the second quarter. So the big play moves them all the way across midfield. It's 1st and 10 from the 45. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9. Now the Dolphins going to burn the first of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 34 seconds to go before halftime. Looking to throw on 2nd down. Alonso. And that going to be incomplete. A lot of contact, no call, and it's 3rd down.
You get a tight end like this, and you know he's used to dishing out punishment, but here, he's one that has to absorb the contact, and as a result, unable to hold on to the football.
Completes it to the tight end, Smythe. And he's going to be taken down at the 39, clearly short of the first by a few yards. The Dolphins going to take their 2nd timeout as the clock will stop with 20 seconds to go in the first half. And I don't think this has the carry. It does not. It's no good. And this score will stay right where it is. And that's the risk of the long field goal miss here at this stage of the second quarter. You give up great field position.
And that gives them one more opportunity to make something happen and something big. And we've seen crazy stuff happen at the end of halves.
Here's Allen on 1st and 10. That's complete to Arcega-Whiteside. Now the Bills are going to use the first of their timeouts as they stop it with 11 seconds remaining in this first half. Able to get 7 on that first down pass play. 2nd and 3. Throwing now is Allen. And that one got tipped. Kind of threw everything off. It brings up 3rd. So the incomplete pass on the last play, and that leads us to a 3rd and 3. Now Allen. And he comes back with one complete. Now whistles and a timeout with 3 seconds left in the first half. Allen now 9 of 11 passing in this first half. He's got his guys at 1st and 10. A final shot before half for Allen. And his throw here is incomplete. So we have reached halftime here in an 11-point contest. As we go up to Orlando now and hand it over to Jonathan Coachman with our EA Sports. And okay, so much for our halftime break. Apparently we're going to get right back to it. The Dolphins in front, and they'll be in possession of the football first as the second half gets started. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And a pretty good return here. He'll be stopped just shy of the 25 at the 24-yard line. So now the Dolphins set to take over on offense. They were winners a week ago over the Steelers, and they lead this one as well as they start here 1st and 10. Throwing to start the drive. Alonzo, and he will find his man on the end route. Complete. That one good for 13 and a Dolphin first down.
I think it all came together there. In-breaking route, drove it with excellent pace. Money throw right there to move the sticks.
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. Looking to throw. Alonzo, he's going to let one go deep for Parker. And it drops down incomplete. Thought he might have had it. Instead, 2nd down. Line of scrimmage, again the 37 as they line up 2nd and 10. 2nd and 10. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
I'm coming back. I'm coming back.
They need to stop to get back into this game, and here's one right to start the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, anytime you go to the lockers with that 2-3 score deficit, you're right. You need that stop, get the football back, and they've done just that.
Series to series, play to play.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. Wide open receiver complete. That catch puts him over 70 yards receiving now as he's got a first down. And, boy, they had high praise for this rookie receiver when we asked the coaches about him, didn't they?
They certainly did, and obviously they liked his measurables, otherwise they wouldn't have brought him onto the team. Height, weight, speed, all of that. But how about what they really said? Competitiveness. That's what they really liked about him. The way he goes after the football, competes for it, and decides when it's in the air, it's his and only his.
They'll keep it on the ground. It's Nash. And he'll get it inside the 40 to the 39. 6 yards the pickup, and that's a first down.
3rd quarter, and you've got the lead. You're not ready to go into that 4-minute offense to close the game out, but a running game can really benefit your team right now.
Back to throw. Alonzo, and the coverage terrific there as that's knocked down and incomplete.
It's always a battle. Who's going to win on first down, the offense or the defense? Let's face it, if you've got the ball, 4 yards or more on first down is what you're aiming for. They tried to throw for it there. Nice effort to knock that one away and bring up.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. So they come out of the locker room trailing, but plays like that, they won't be trailing much longer. Defense really starting out well this second half.
Yeah, they knew they had to jumpstart things a little bit. They really struggled in the first half trying to slow them down. But now they had a plan, made that adjustment that we always talk about, and it worked very well on that play.
A pickup of 24 on the 3rd down conversion. This quarterback now, 5 straight completions here in this second half. 1st and 10. And again this time to the tailback. Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, this big defensive lineman will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Now left side, a completion to his tight end. And he'll go down here at the 12-yard line. They'll get 9 there as that sets him up better for third down.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion. They would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication. And as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him off to each defender. Ended up making a nice play, even though it was complete.
So another third down conversion, and now they've got a first and goal. Looking to throw. Alonso. To the goal line, but it's incomplete. Nothing doing there as the 13th play of the drive proves to be unlucky. They'll go again from the 3 here on second and goal.
They're not ready for this. They still playing.
Second and 3. He's got it. Touchdown, Dolphins. From 3 yards out, and the Dolphins are able to extend that advantage. Always important to get the first score of the second half. Now you start to pull away a little bit and get some breathing room going.
And now we find out about the fortitude of the group that's behind, because they were counting on getting into the game a little bit more, right? Maybe they get the first score. That doesn't happen. It looks almost insurmountable, but it's not. Let's see how hard they play the rest of the game.
Fielded about a yard deep. And he'll make it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line. So here's the Bills offense now. They get ready for their first possession of the second half. And their halftime hole now even deeper. And they need a big drive here just to answer the first touchdown of the second half scored against them.
They were down at the half. Now, as you mentioned, they're down a little bit bigger, but no time for discouragement. Just got to get back to it, right? Put your shoulder against the boulder and start pushing and try and get back to where you were to start the half. But these guys are going to chomp into that deficit. They're going to have to do a much better job in the run game. Caught behind the line of scrimmage, no yardage will be found.
And they're going to get him behind the line yet again as his nightmare afternoon continues. 8 yards on the run, and that cuts us down to a third and about 5. This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on third down. From the gun, it's Allen. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
He's the NFL sack leader coming into the game, and now that's 2 more that he's added to his total.
He wants some separation from spot 1 and 2 in that sack category. And this is away. It's a high kick, and he got all of it. This is taken at about the 14. Call that one an even 60 yards, 6-0. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. First down Miami as they get set to start the drive. And now you've got the clock winding down here in the third quarter. You're 3 scores to the good. What's your approach on this drive?
Too early to fully commit to playing the clock game. Yet at the same time, you're also not going pell-mell like you would in 2-minute offense. This is what NFL offenses call 4-minute football. Take the clock out of the game a little bit, wind it down, but at the same time, keep advancing the ball down the field.
Now they try the right side here. And they're able to get this one across the 35. And Miami first down, that one going for a gain of 11.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball, protect this lead, give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them. So from the 36 now, first and 10. Back to throw. Alonso. He's got a first down and then some in midfield. And finally brought down at the 43. A good pickup there, 21 yards.
You can see the time and effort and thought that they put into their passing game because it was evident right there. It looks like a simple pitch and catch, but you and I both know that they have planned for this and worked hard to make it happen.
And he'll go down, and that will do it for the third quarter of action. 3 quarters in the books, and that'll do it for the end of the second quarter. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. The last run got a couple. Here's second and 8. Here's second and 8. Oh, he's got a man wide wide open, complete. And he's got a first down as the tackle made at the Bills' 28. Charles, you'd said the magic number was probably right around 20 for this defense because they're facing one of the top 5 offenses in the league in terms of points scored. They've had their moments, but this offense just a little too good, isn't it?
They really are, because no matter what you do to make an adjustment on defense, they've got an answer for it. Let's just break this down and make it pretty simple. Key to the drag route, letting the play develop, finding the hole in the defense, and giving your athlete, yes, athlete, a chance to make something happen once he has the ball in his hands.
And on this one, he'll get to the 15, right at the 15-yard line. 6 yards the pickup, and that's a first down. Right back to him on first down. And now they're inside the 10 as he's brought down at the 9. It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets him to 2nd and 4. Starting to become a tough spot for this defense. You're down, 4th quarter, looking a little fatigued maybe on that side of the ball.
Partner, we've seen this before, haven't we? Because every coach we've ever talked to says body language is important. And now you're seeing guys with their hands on their hips, they're bent over, hands on their knees. And the offensive guys, they're just saying, let's just keep running it out, and we've got them now.
The Dolphins on 3rd down. They have been superb. 5 for 6 to this point. This is 3rd and 4. Looking to throw. Alonzo. And this is caught. It's Parker. And they're going to mark him down short, maybe by about a yard, if that. On 4th down. Alonzo. And he'll take this into the end zone for a Dolphins touchdown. Devontae Parker. His 4th touchdown on the year. And the Dolphins are able to extend that advantage. They were still throwing with a comfortable lead here late, and now that lead even more comfortable.
And your first thought is there bad blood that went into this one ahead of time, that maybe they're seeking some revenge, or they just don't like them? But the other thing that always hits me is, are they worried about playoff positioning? Right? Are they worried about, do you need enough points in case there's a tiebreaker that comes into play later?
This will be taken to the back of the end zone. Here's the Buffalo offense now as they get set to take over here. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wind up going nowhere.
Well, you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
This is a draw play. Allen gives to Singletary. And this has been a familiar sight all afternoon as they stop him behind the line. Another carry, same story. 4th quarter, and he is in red numbers right now with a running game.
Hard to believe, because you figure at some point you break off a...
And he will be hit from behind and run over. Wow.
We've been around this league for a while, and many coaches never pull their starting quarterback, almost no matter the situation. In this case, though, I think he's got to make a decision. He's taking a pretty good beating out there.
Yeah, with the deficit, maybe not wanting to risk an injury. So possession goes over here on the punt. And out will come the offense as they take over. Out comes the Miami offensive unit now. They get set to take over. The outcome of this one, well, we know who's going to win it. It's just all window dressing at this point. Got me thinking, what's the biggest blowout that you've been a part of as a player, broadcaster?
Well, I'm not going to go to the player part, because when I think blowout...
Because you won every game as a player.
No. I think about being blown out. And no one wants to go back to those memories. But, you know, when I was calling college football, I saw a game that, you know, team puts...
And they're going to score again. Yet another touchdown as they just add to their totals.
And now we've hit that stage of the game, partner, where one of our predecessors, one of the great commentators of all time, he used to sing in this situation when this game appeared to be over.
Well, the fat lady's been singing for some time.
No, not her at all. This
but she's singing too.
Oh, she's
on like the 5th tune.
Yeah, she left Scales way behind, but he used to sing something about turning out the lights. The party was over.
This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Here's the Buffalo offense now as they get set to take over here. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. Here's 2nd and 7 now from the 28.
Let's go, Heavy. Let's go, Heavy. Heavy, what you got?
To the air. Allen got his man complete over the middle. It's Banks. And give him 6 yards here as he stopped near the 35 at the 34. A gain of 3 last play. This time they double it and pick up 6. Allen. And a loose football. So it's Bills football here as we get you reset. They come up on a 4th down situation with things not looking particularly rosy. So they're forced to punt on 4th as this one's away. Fielded just inside the 20. And call that an even 50 yards on the punt with 7 on the return. So now here come the Dolphins. And a few kneel downs should just about do it. Now defensively they do have all 3 timeouts, but very little reason to use them at this point. Now it looks like he'll throw here. Under a heavy rush, and down he goes.
Brandon, that's just football 101. If you're out of the pocket, you've got to get rid of the football in this situation. You cannot take a sack in a 2-minute drill.
After the sack, it's 2nd and 19, and the road gets a bit tougher from here. A 4-yard pickup that gets them going forward, but still 15 yards left on 3rd down. They'll keep it on the ground. It's Nash. Call it a gain of 4, and it'll bring up 4th down.
But they got off the field on 3rd down. An excellent job, an excellent defensive series. We always talk about adjustments, and usually only at halftime. But the best teams adjust series to series. And on that series, they adjusted so well that they got the job done in fine style.
This is away and a very good kick angled for the sidelines. And this will be up to the ruling of the side judge here. He says it crossed out of bounds at the 16-yard line. The Bills come to the line to start their next drive. They've lost this one. Their offense has struggled. Do they try to put together something here at the end just to take into next week?
Yeah, sometimes teams want to do that and coaches want to. I remember one time I was on a team and we were losing late in the game like this, and you knew it was lost. It was over, right? And the coach called a running play and pretty much said to everyone,
nowhere to escape, and he goes down. And one of the whistles for timeout. So they'll stop the clock here in a game that's been decided in the closing seconds. So after the sack, Allen and the Bills with work to do on 3rd and long. On 3rd and long, it's Allen. Oh, the pressure too great, and he goes down once more. And one of the whistles for timeout. So they'll stop the clock here in a game that's been decided in the closing seconds. The Bills send the punter out as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. And the kick's away as he angles this one for the sideline. And the punt goes out of bounds. Where will they put it? They'll put it just inside the 45-yard line. So a victory here for the Miami Dolphins. And they were buoyed, Charles, by a big second half that put this one on ice.
So you get the sense that whatever was said at halftime obviously hit home. I think it's a little bit more than that, though. Obviously, there are words that are said, and, hey, come on, guys, we have to play better. But sometimes it's just sharpening your execution, sharpening your focus, and maybe doing the things you practiced all week without major adjustments, just doing them better. And that got it done in this one.
So for the Dolphins, the great run they've been on continues as they move to 9-1 now. And they'll get to stay home again next week. Meanwhile, for the Bills, add another loss to the pile as they drop to 2-8 now on the year. And they'll look to get back in the winning column next week as they head to Foxborough to face off against the New England Patriots. And for Charles Davis and our entire crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports.